Yeah, now we're
Yeah,
live.
yeah, the Wi-Fi dumped. Well, that sucked. I don't know when it went out or what happened.
Yeah, I don't know either. So I just noticed the clock was missing. I'm like, wait a moment.
Oh, that sucks. Well, so if you're joining us, we're talking about Stranger Things. I don't know what happened with the stream. That's weird. But I do know that StreamYard's been doing some updates lately, and it's, I don't know. Anyway, I'm talking about the production of it, and they shot a lot on this screen called the volume, and you could just fucking tell. And that's
Rooftop
it.
scene
That
at
rooftop
the end.
scene, they're
Holy
clearly just sitting
shit.
in a room with a volume screen behind them. There's no realness there, and there's a real town. You can go to the town where the show is set, where they actually have shot. But the show has consistently over the seasons gotten cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Let's do everything on green screen and let's make digital backgrounds, and it looks bad. It
Which is
looks
crazy because
really
the
bad.
budgets keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
It's because it's not in. At the end of the day, they find out it's never cheaper because you have to go back and fix so much stuff. It's never.
The radio tower, the radio station is no longer there. Which, granted, it was there while they were filming. I'm just saying, right now it is no longer there. It's like the middle school.
And the thing that bothers me about it, like it really stands out to me when you see Hawkins during the day at the end, and it's an actual town. You're like, oh, this looks nothing like, and it looks nothing like the rest of the season.
Yeah,
the rest of the season looks like a sound.
Bad.
It looks like a soundstage the rest of the season, and when they're finally in a town, I'm like, well, shit. I wish they had used this town more.
See, I didn't do that because I just saw that as like you go from dark times to now you're over the hill.
No, I agree with that. I agree, and that's what it should have looked like. It should have looked the same as the town, just in dark times, but it didn't. It never looked the same to me. Not a single time this season did it look the same. A big pet peeve for me is exposition dumping, and Dustin is a character that I did not like this season at all. One, because they made him unlikable. He was grieving, I know, but they didn't give him enough character depth for us to go through that journey with him. We just saw him get to be an asshole to people, right?
Also, damn, he's been out of school for
hang on,
over a year and a half.
I'm getting to it. And then we get to the exposition dump that, oh, we're running out of time. We need to write this story. So let's have Dustin find the magic book with all the fucking answers in it that are like physics and astronomy and astrophysics, and he fucking understands and interprets all of it for everybody else. I hated it. I hated it.
Like at a certain point, I'm like, holy shit, that's a massive jump.
Yeah,
I disagree.
I disagree too.
Go ahead.
I disagree because I've been around 16-year-old boys who've lost somebody very close to them, and that is exactly how they react.
Well, no, I'm not saying that it's not exactly how they would react. I'm saying we didn't get enough depth outside of their reactions to people to go on that journey with him. You know, all it was, here's a scene of Dustin being an asshole. Here's another scene of Dustin being an asshole. Here's another scene of Dustin being an asshole. It would have been nice to have some moments of depth to understand where his heart and mind is, other than having it through exposition, which is how we got it.
So you didn't see the entirety of him at Eddie's grave, or?
Yeah, I saw that. But yeah, it wasn't enough.
By the way, that's a plot thread that went nowhere too. He gets bullied until they just
stop. Yeah, they just stop. It goes away. He doesn't even talk about it really.
They didn't just stop though, because they got tied into the plan of going into the Upside Down and doing all this stuff. Like, it's not like it just stopped. Like, yeah, he's still going to be bullied, and you still saw even in the epilogue, like, yeah, he was valedictorian, whatever, gave his speech.
Those characters, those bullies, got no comeuppance. They were set up. They did their one thing, and
sometimes
they left the
bullies don't get
celluloid.
comeuppance.
But what I'm saying is, this is a reoccurring issue throughout this season. Characters will be introduced, they will serve their one purpose, and then
go away.
But I'm telling you,
point.
But the focus was about the main characters, and it was showing where they were in that time of their life, what they were going through. I already had a conversation with Steven about this outside the show about the whole physics thing. I understand not understanding like nuclear science, fusion, whatever the fuck. But Dustin's character had always been a brainy type kid.
Not that brainy.
Interested in science.
Brainy.
Yes, he was brainy and stuff like that. Now, I get what you're saying, understanding the specifics of it, but was not such a thing in my head where he found this book. Like I'm not thinking he doesn't understand anything. He knew about black holes. He knew about certain things. He was the one helping Steve navigate all the technology stuff. He's been the brainy one throughout the entire series, so it's not a stretch.
Yeah, but he's never been that level of brainy. We're talking fucking Stephen Hawking here.
There was no
He
setup
built
of
an
this character
entire
knowing this
ham
information.
radio from scratch at summer camp to talk to his girlfriend.
Yes.
That's different than understanding fucking astrophysics.
And that
it's
has
not.
a payoff
not.
later.
It's not.
That has a setup and a
One is
payoff
here,
to that
the other one is
season.
up here in levels of
Keep in
intelligence.
mind, Mr. Clark, who does understand all this stuff
Yes.
and has been teaching them since the first season, is constantly enforced that Dustin is his protege.
Speaking of which, this guy, the teacher, just fucking appears out of nowhere and does nothing.
Does one
He is
thing
in every
and then
season.
fucking leaves.
Yeah.
He's in every season, and also he was brought in because Erica came up with that thought process.
Yeah, and he comes in, he does one job, and then he's fucking gone and not talked about again.
This, again,
But you're not. The focus was about the main characters. It's not about these side bitches. I'm sorry.
You can focus on main characters, and I get that, but I'm somewhere in between you guys and Zach on this. I'm not as like locked in on it as Zach is, but if you start a story, finish the story. If it's a side story, then cut it short, but end it. Make it make sense. Make it just like, oh, this guy's just fucking gone now. It's just gone. Like he's there doing important shit. Next scene, he's gone. No one talks about him again.
He was there. Like, he was a part of the final entrance into the Upside Down. So,
But being texture in the background doesn't really make you there.
He was.
he got the Lord of the Rings reference of the season that toward me. So I was okay with Mr. Clark. So
Okay, let's do another comparison. In season 4, they introduced the character of Eddie.
Yeah.
What does Eddie do in that season?
He dies.
Does he serve more than one purpose?
In what way do you define a purpose, though?
Okay, let's do another comparison.
No, well,
In
didn't
season-
Zach, hang on. If you're gonna make a point, just make it. Don't ask questions. Just fucking say
Season 4,
it.
they introduced characters of bullies going after Eddie. These characters are introduced, have reminders, play importance to the plot, get their comeuppance, and change the plot. There is setup reminders, and it is throughout the season. You're talking about characters that come in, they serve one purpose, and then they disappear.
The bullies from season 4 are the same bullies. They are continuing their purpose from season 4.
It's not the same bullies at all from season 4, and it's all about
the only bully that died.
It's the fear tactic of the Hellfire Club too, and it's jocks versus nerds. Like, it's very stereotypical
Jocks
80s.
versus nerds, and the end of the fucking world is going on in the center of town.
But the whole town got excused by the government saying it was an earthquake or a massive whatever the fuck it was.
Like,
Yeah.
everybody stopped looking with their eyes too to see the fucking particles.
Well, look at today's world. Everyone's turning their fucking eyes to every goddamn shit that goes on.
I'm just saying, they wrote themselves into a corner, and then they went, "Oh fuck," and then everyone got dumber, except for characters that got exponentially smarter.
You are expecting an entire town to be on the same page of the story that we are on as the audience, and that's not how life
And you were
works.
treating it
Town to
like
be
it's a
revolting against the military.
You're
based
treating
on
it
what
like
they've
it's a
seen.
movie. It's a series that they have to feel and expand over a long time frame.
Well, that
40 hours
argument
into this.
that argument actually goes the opposite way for me, because a movie has less time to do it. A series has more time to do it.
We
They
are
should
over
have.
40 hours.
But
into
you're
this
dealing
series.
with the growth of these kids. There's reasons they had to change writing based off the length of how long production was and how things went. But you can't explain, oh, we're like a month later and the kids look 25 years old when they looked 16 last season. Like,
To be
fuck
honest
that.
with you, I can wave that off. I can wave that off. I can just be like, whatever. They didn't have time. I would rather have that and just roll with it than a year and a half passes and I'm like, you have just opened up several plot inconsistencies.
The problem is with that,
versus
Zach,
how
is you can roll with that.
Yeah.
Most people cannot.
That's
I don't think the time jump was the problem. I just don't think they adequately handled what 10 months later Hawkins would be like in this
Yeah.
situation. I'm
It was
perfectly
more
fine.
than 10 months.
Well, whatever this, I don't remember the exact time.
It was a year and a half.
Whatever. So, but my point, that's even worse. So, like,
Whoever's clicking the pen, please stop.
yes, there's a lot of clicking noise.
Yeah.
No, it is just weird that it is a year and a half later. I'm fine with Hawkins as a town moving on and getting over it because everything seems weird. But they shouldn't be over the fact that there's still a government occupation with a wall around the city. Like there's the whole military setup around Hawkins just doesn't work because it's like, how is this sustained for a year and a half without the government of Indiana
not to mention
and then
outside of Hawkins?
Yeah, because like the complaints I had, I mentioned earlier, some of the issues I had earlier are the non-Hawkins characters that are just not addressed in this season. Like this is beyond Hawkins as much as this season tries to shrink the scope. Like, it's supposedly world ending, but like this season put a wall around Hawkins and the Upside Down.
So let me ask you something, and Tina, I bet you probably know this. I just suspect if any of us are going to know. The entirety of season 5. How long did that all happen? Was it a day, 2 days, 3 days, a week? How long was it?
You froze? You froze. So I didn't hear the entirety of your first question, the first half of your question.
I was about to say, he came through on my end, but how long was the entirety of season 5, disregarding the time skip?
Took
place over how many?
A day, 2 days? Was it 5? How many days do you guys think it was?
It was like only a few days because it's like the beginning of November. And
the funny thing is, and this is me rewatching all of it currently, each season only takes course over a week.
Yeah.
Because see, if we had a clear idea of that, a lot of the issues that we have would be a lot less taxing. Like, what's her name's girlfriend only being in the hospital and only seeing her there. If we had a full idea of time, wait, hang on. If everything happened after that happened over a day or two, it's kind of more reasonable that she's not around because it's only a day or two. But the way the season rolls, it feels like it takes forever, and it's just not clear.
See, I didn't
think
feel
part of
that.
that is the release structure of the episodes too.
Yeah.
The dump several, and then you take a week, dump a few more, take a week, dump, and then you have the finale. So you kind of lose track on the time, the internal time of the show, because like, is the first set a day or multiple days, and then the next set you get is this picking up the same day? Like, you can obviously tell if it's picking up the same event.
Yeah.
But
because if you think about it like that, Dustin gets bullied by these guys on Friday. The world almost ends on Saturday, and Sunday's, it's over. Then, okay, maybe it's reasonable that they're not around, but it's just the way the storytelling structure doesn't make it clear. It actually makes it feels like shit takes forever.
Yeah, I think it didn't help. Sorry, it didn't help that we had Volume 1 wait a full month, then we had Volume 2 wait a whole week.
Yeah.
That didn't help.
No, I think if you watch all the episodes back to back, I think it's still going to feel like that. It's still going to feel like this took weeks.
I'd like to know.
Yeah, you'll let us know.
Armando and I've gone back and did that where we before we watched Volume 2, we went back and watched Volume 1 completely again, and it flowed more consecutive. It felt like a span of days, not over a course.
Yeah.
Just for future reference, each season, and this is again only because I've been rewatching it for a week. Each season actually only takes place in the span of a week max. So
Max is only in 2 seasons.
Bucks.
So we're
Thanks, Dad.
Barring any like pseudo epilogues like in season 2 when they had the snowball afterwards, or season 1 when it was like Christmas time. Like barring those tiny little skips, it is a week max.
I like how Steven phrased it earlier about it feeling both like bloated but rushed at the same time. Like It didn't feel like there was enough time to cover everything, but because they spent so much time doing other things in the season, I think you lose sense of pacing. It felt like, for instance, Hopper, Volume 1, when Hopper and 11 are in the Upside Down, that felt like forever. And that was like in world, like 3 hours or something, not that long.
Not that long at all.
6 hours.
And you know what it is? You were comparing it to the Goonies. If this was more like the Goonies, the group would have been together the whole time. We wouldn't have had 7 different stories to go back and forth to. This is more like The Walking Dead, where everybody splits up into smaller groups and you've got an entire season of fucking stories that you got to catch up on. If they had brought everybody together, kept them together, everything would have probably clicked a little bit better.
That's what
unfortunately, that's Stranger Things' MO is splitting the storylines until they converge at the end.
Well, and you know the reason for that. Let's be fucking real about it. It's cheaper. It's cheaper. Yeah. It's cheaper because if you've got a large ensemble cast and you've got 8-10 people, if you could do half an episode with just 3 of them, you're saving a lot of money that day. No one's on the set those days. So I mean that's why The Walking Dead did it.
I want to go into my favorite character of the season and my least favorite character.
Okay.
So my favorite.
That's a good idea.
Is shocker to no one, Steve fucking Harrington. Mostly because I feel he finally had his own sense of self. I believe when he first said Nance is a friend, I fully believed it just because I think, especially with season 4, he came to terms with she's moved on from me and I'm no longer the life I want is no longer the life she would ever want. Mm-hmm. And I think that he came to terms with that. And I think when he is confronted by Jonathan, and still sticking the whole, she's a friend and I care about friends. We've seen how he cares about friends, and it's very similar. That very deep caring of, I need to check on them. He did it with Max when she was going through all of her shit in season 4. And the fact that he gets shit on, not only by Jonathan, because let's face it, he's kind of used to being hated by Jonathan, but now Dustin. And it started in season 4, but it was definitely more quippy, more of like a friendly banter. This season is outright insulting and aimed to hurt him. And that fight scene at the when they're in the Hawkins upside down lab, that fight scene when he doesn't hit Dustin back, he tries to contain it, he tries to stop the fight, he tries to get him to calm down. And at the end, when Dustin throws a punch and he has to get him into a chokehold, and he's like, I'm done. That to me was Steve finally standing up for himself for everything. And then that break that Dustin has, we see Dustin as the 16-year-old who beat up face, grieving. But I feel like in Steve's eyes, he's seeing Dustin from season 2 in them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I love his growth. And let's be honest, he had the best happy ending. Mr. Softball Coach. My least favorite is Joyce. She is completely derivative from her first 2-3 seasons when she is figuring stuff out left and right. And yeah, she seems crazy, but she's not wrong.
I think this is definitely helped by you currently rewatching.
Again, me rewatching everything as recently as I have. And her entire relationship with 11 just evaporates. In this season, you would not ever know how motherly she was in the first season, how she basically helped raise 11. She was there to break the news to her that Hopper died at the end of season 3 and immediately went into mother hen mode. They've always had such a close relationship, and you don't get any of that, especially when Elle dies. They cut to her and she's just like, I'm like, you're watching your daughter die. What is essentially your daughter die. Why is the girl from 2 years ago having a much stronger reaction than you? What the fuck, Joyce? I felt like, unfortunately, I love Winona Ryder. I do. Please do not come for me when I say this. I felt like she just did not give a fuck acting wise this season.
Well, I think she was supposed to be, and again, this is a character arc thing that I think wasn't realized, is she was supposed to be battle hardened at this point. She's supposed to be a changed person. I mean, she's agreed to let her son go off and possibly die to do what he needs to do, but it was never fully rendered in the script. It was rushed through.
I don't think it's a Winona Ryder problem. I think it's a writing problem. I think it's the script. It's not the actors. I don't have any problem really with any of the acting this season.
I do.
I can find out some, yeah.
I'm sure there are bad ones, but there's nothing that was like I noticed was like especially egregious. Most all of the problems I had were script based. So I guess it's my turn. So favorite character, probably Steve because Steve's great. Least favorite, I don't know. There were a lot of characters that I think the script just failed. I think Joyce was a failure of the script.
Robin was
a failure of the script. Didn't do well. I agree about Steven wishing that we got to see Dustin's vulnerability from his anger bit, and not just all turned up to 11. But also kind of see like some of the wall fall more than it did in the fight when Steve. Like that was great. There were clippers. It just needed to be better sold. And again, script, not actor. I liked. I remarked to Tina. I feel like the character that's had like the most interesting character arc is kind of Mike, because Mike goes from like kind of middle of the road kind of main character kid to an utter asshole in 2 and 3 to like backdrop last season, and actually a pretty reasonable kid this season. Bill was good. Like I was fine with most of the characters. Most of the issues I had with the plot or the writing. It's like I was so annoyed at Linda Hamilton's character not being a character. I was I didn't like Holly, the sister character, because like she's suspicious, and I got more things about that when I guess after this we'll get to the end. But yeah, I mean, I just there wasn't a character I outright hated.
I was starting to hate Jonathan until the melting.
Jonathan's annoying in general, but that seemed consistent to the series.
And I will say, I am very happy that Nancy did not end up with either.
Yes, same.
Yeah. All right, Nathan, your favorite and least favorite characters.
Favorite was Robin. I think she was probably the most consistent in who she was as a person. It was nice to see at the end how she's come to a place where she's fully kind of accepted herself and she's exploring her options with her girlfriend and actually being involved and kind of mentoring Will into himself, which I think for me, being as a gay person, was always a big thing. I always looked up to older gay people that I knew were in life. So that was really nice. Least favorite, Mike. Could not stand Mike. I just felt he was such a strong character the beginning seasons, and then it
feels
just
like a shell of a character.
He feels like he's kind of faded out. The only thing that I kind of liked about Mike was the very end, how he is the storyteller and he wants to share the stories, and he's going to continue to do that. I just felt like he was like the most useless of the final season.
All right. Zach, favorite and least favorite characters.
Favorite character would be Max. Partially because of Sadie Sink acting around.
Son of a bitch. You motherfucker.
Around the other characters. I still had a problem with her like storyline, but I liked her character. I liked that she was proactive in everything that she did until she literally couldn't, and still tried to help out in any way that she could. Worst hated character, 8. I fucking hate 8 to the very end. I fucking hate her. She's a nothing character that is there to go, we should kill ourselves, and then dies.
Yeah.
And she serves one purpose, and then leaves fucking celluloid.
Okay.
I mean,
Go
I
ahead.
just don't
You can
like
respond,
the-
Nathan.
I didn't like the start of that character, and I didn't like the end of that character.
I think it played well into, especially if you're thinking about she was captured to be used for her blood, and she's already at the end. She was already willing to like die before, so of course she's going to lead into with 11. Like, if we exist, they're
That
gonna
is-
always, yeah,
And Cully's already lost it all.
yeah.
Like her entire troop of friends were murdered right in front of her, so she's already lost it all.
So
So I
To
get
me,
where
she's not a
Callie's
character.
like, fuck it, let's just die.
But
so
she's
what
not a
you're
character.
so what you're saying is she was a perfectly timed plot device.
Yes, she was
Because that's what she feels like. She's not my most hated character, but I agree. She basically has the most minimal exposition heavy amount of depth to her character. She's just there to take the plot to this position, to this next place. My favorite character, and fuck you, Zach, you son of a bitch, is also Max. And I can't help but lock in on characters based off the quality of the work the actor is doing. Max is Sadie Sink is the one who's going to blow up from this show because she's the fucking best actor on the show, other than Winona Ryder.
Well, we're gonna see her in Marvel films.
We are. She's about to be in Spider-Man, and it's deserved because she's a great actor. Her character is wasted for most of this season, and when she finally does get to do something, it's problematic, and it's not the actor's fault. It's just the writing's fault. And the biggest problem I fucking have with her, and Zach and I talked about this, is how's she graduating? She was in a coma for almost a year.
Okay, so I actually did research on this.
So the fact that you had to do research on this for us to know is problematic.
I disagree. It's a long enough time
It's
to go to
research
the epilogue.
for
It wasn't. It was.
not research for a school administrator.
Yeah.
So, in cases of medical conditions, they do allow testing out. She is friends with the valedictorian and a bunch of nerds, so it's possible she studied for a long couple of months to test out.
I didn't even have to do research for that because
if the epilogue were like 6 months,
Motherfucker!
In 1989, they had that.
States of emergencies. School systems will make exceptions and leniencies on attendance, on standardized testing scores, on all kinds of things that would make it possible for her to graduate. Not easily, and she would have to pass these tests, but it would be able to actually happen.
y'all, that's
I felt it was a long enough time jump. Like 18 months is a lot of time to catch up on schoolwork. I feel like it could have worked. Also, we don't know the state of the late 1980s Indiana school system. It could have been easy.
I mean,
All
look at COVID. We had kids not even showing up to class and still passing and graduating.
That
Like,
was-
shut-
They
shut
did
the
the
hell
same
up.
thing with Hurricane Katrina in the
Yeah.
state of Louisiana.
Yeah. It's
The
a
problem is no one comments on it. No one discusses it. Nobody talks about your spin.
a
going
line
on here.
would have been
A
good.
singular line. I can't believe you.
I do agree with that. I think a lot of my problem, like a few of my problems, could have been solved with a line.
Yeah, a line here or a line there. The bullies situation could have been handled with a line of dialogue.
Yeah.
But it was just never revisited, those things. But she is my favorite because
I was
I
about
love.
to say, hey Susie, go look out for Demogorgons or
Yeah.
something. Like, hey, go look.
Let
out for
me
these.
hang on,
would-
bitch.
shit.
I'm answering the question. She was my favorite the minute she came on the show because she's a really great actor. And as far as my least favorite, it's tough. Ultimately, I go to Dustin because I hate what they did with his character. I think he was lacking depth in the first quarter of the series, and I think he was a plot device in the middle of the series to push the story forward. But I like him as an actor. I like him. I think he has a very grounded idea about his future as an actor and all that stuff, and I just like him as an actor. But he's probably my least favorite character because of that. But I gotta say that here's the thing. You don't know. When you started with these kids, they were young. You don't know how good of an actor they're going to grow up to be, you know? And they've grown up. And ultimately, the one I'm thinking about is Noah Schnapp. Noah Schnapp is probably going to disappear because not a good actor. Not good.
Well, he's already said that he doesn't really want to go into acting.
Good, because he's real bad, and he's bad in several scenes in this series. He does okay in other scenes. He's very inconsistent as an actor. But yeah, that's probably where I fall on.
I will
on
be
that.
honest. I'm very intrigued to see how Derek's actor is going to come up, because he had me so entertained the entire time he was on screen. I was like, I fucking love this.
So
kid.
Derek was a funny kid, but he was given that one line: "Suck a fat one." That's it.
Yeah,
Suck a fat one. Suck a fat one. Suck a fat one. He was the Cartman. Like,
he was. I agree.
But
At
he
least he had
did a
more of
good
a
job
plot.
in that role.
Yeah.
He at least had something to do in the plot, and then
Yeah.
didn't disappear at the end.
oh,
You know, ultimately, I like the little girl. I thought
the
she was
actress
good.
Holly. I was
Yeah,
about
the
to say
Holly
the girl that
actress
played
was really
Holly.
good.
Yeah.
I like the
I love
actor.
You could
hated,
sometimes. Oh, sorry.
I hated how they basically went through this whole trial and tribulation only for her to end up right back where they started. It felt like, fuck me, that was just a waste of fucking time. To me, it felt defeating. It's like,
Well, I
that's
didn't.
me.
I
I'll say
I don't
that's
think
me.
it was a way. I know that where you're getting at that, but also from where her standpoint, she didn't even know where her body was. She doesn't even know where she was. So I think if they're grasping at trying to escape, they're just thinking about get
She
home.
got really far considering where she was. Two things about Holly. One, I love her. Sometimes you can still hear her accent flip out a little bit, which is adorable.
Was she British?
And two, fucking knock them, like run them down wheelers, man. Fucking duck. You got Holly with the stereo. You got Nancy with insert armed weaponry here. You got Mike with the shovel. You got Karen with the fucking wine bottle and the fucking oxygen tanks. Fuck me, I want to be a wheeler.
Which Zach, you brought up earlier, the whole bomb thing
Yeah, the
with the
oxygen
Jimmy
tank
Dogs.
situation.
Yes, which I get. I see your point on that, but
I only have
also
a problem with it because you.
Well,
show-
Zach, hang on. Let him finish his statement, then respond. Go ahead.
when you can't. A lot of people do a lot of crazy things on adrenaline, and then you come down from that adrenaline. Like it's one of those things that didn't bother me at all because I've been in situations where I've acted, then I crashed, and then I acted like I went into fight or flight mode, and then it's just like, oh, I'm drained.
That's who you are.
Back on to Nathan's.
Well, hang on, because Zach had an immediate.
Zach responds.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was about to say because the bomb goes off, and then 5 seconds later she comes out of thin air, barely moving. I can understand in the next scene she's drained, but it immediately was after, and I was like, for her
I mean,
to
it took a while
put
for the
that
bomb
in
to go
there,
off.
for her to put that in there without making noise, turning it on, the Dimodogs don't see her, don't hear her, any of that shit, and then she waddles in out of thin air. I was like, this is beyond the pale. Like, this is beyond what this character has been shown to do. This is beyond what this character knows. You wanted to have your cake and eat it too. I don't accept that. Like,
You saw her process. She saw the oxygen tanks. So you already thought about flammable stuff like that. You saw her adrenaline when she fought the Demogorgon. Like
that was adrenaline. It was fight or flight.
All right, let me get to what Tina wants to
She
say.
didn't have her fucking
Hey,
neck
hang on.
sliced open.
Go ahead.
Zach, I will counteract that point. That is a mother's instinct to protect their child, because I had the exact same instinct when I was watching the scene. I was like, protect that baby at all costs. That's your baby. Protect her. Yeah, that's. And then she hears Lucas's name on the intercom, and she again, it's established in season 1. Lucas has been.
Uh-oh.
They paused.
Lucas and in their lives since kindergarten. So she has seen Lucas his entire life. So that essentially is another extension of her child. So again, that motherly, like, I guess, surge of like superhuman strength or whatever. You know, you can lift the car off the kid. Like, that's where I felt it was coming from, because that's where I related it to. And throughout the seasons, she has always been proven to be a fantastic mother.
And my only feeling about this is, this is
Except
a
when
minor
she
fucking
about
quote.
to cheat on somebody.
This is a mother. What a mother does for their child is different than what a mother does for their, or doesn't do for their relationship. But I outside of that, this seems like a really minor quibble to me. It doesn't matter that much.
Well, I'm just not a fan of when characters
has a
jump
lot of
out
minor
of thin
quibbles. There are also
fucking air.
major ones, but I do think there are minor ones. I don't care about this scene. I thought it was fine.
There's a lot of minor. There's some major ones too, but a lot of minor continuity errors that just irked me the more that I saw them. Like Derek
Big enough to cause a whole conspiracy theory.
Can we talk about conformity gate? Can we talk about conformity gate? I want to talk about conformity gate.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to get to it.
Listen, we have till midnight tonight, bitches.
I want to talk for a minute about what's supposed to be the anchor of this show. The entire run of it is 11, Millie Bobby Brown. Am I the only one that thinks she's just a shit actor at this point?
Yes,
She
she's
was
awful.
bad.
Good.
I'm sorry, and I don't know if it's just because how her face is, or like just
Botox
genetic,
a hell of a
or,
thing,
or
man.
like what. I'm sorry, I look younger than her.
I don't know what else. I know she's been in other stuff. I haven't seen any of the Enola Holmes films,
You're good.
but yeah, it's like the whole like emotionalist kind of deadpan worked in season 1, and the character should have grown out of that by now.
Oh yeah.
It is just not great, and I'm glad that 11's done.
Well, her dialogue is extremely minimized in this season.
Yeah.
She, if you think about it, she does mostly action stuff. She doesn't speak a lot.
Which makes you think she's reverting, because like she talks a lot like she did in the early seasons, and that very kind of stunted, I don't have practice with conversations.
Yeah.
So all my dialogue is very short and to the point. And it's like, you've been living, I mean, I understand being on the run from the militaries for like, I guess since the end of the last
But she's
season.
still been in social interactions with that main group.
I also don't understand how the military couldn't have found her in like, what was the time? It was a year and a half between 4 and 5. Hawkins isn't that big of a town.
Yeah.
Well, they also weren't privy. They also weren't privy to all the tunnels. So
Yeah.
How did they not find the tunnels in a year and a half?
So
I let that slide because I think Hopper is a badass at what he does.
Yeah,
Hopper is a
I let that
badass.
slide
Yeah.
too.
I think so too, but it just the military aspect is one of the weakest parts of the show.
It
the
is.
11 character didn't bother me though, because I just looked at her as she was so focused on getting to Vecna, to destroying Vecna after that season 4 battle scene, and then having to be in hiding, and her mission is, I want this to end. I need this to end. And I feel like the more she pushed herself, I felt like it was a common thing that she was reverting a little bit, because she's overstraining her powers. You saw it over and over. Like the beginning of volume 1, when she was doing the training, she's like, again. And she was just so hyper focused.
Yeah, but we don't get we don't get any moments of how that impacts her psychologically. We just you're just kind of inferring it, hoping it's the case.
Did anybody else feel like you were ripped off by not getting to see her Mario jump her way to the top?
No,
Like
it would have been terrible.
Yes.
It would have looked awful.
It would have.
I don't care. She said I can jump it, and I'm like, bitch, prove it.
I
It's
feel
gonna
like
show the first one
yeah.
that they're jumping and cut away.
I
I
was
mean, at
fine.
least that.
The Seamus points, like, yeah, we didn't get to see any of the other characters go like, hey, 11, you kind of need to tone it back a bit. You're kind of, this is obviously having a impact on your mental state, and it's not good. And that's also kind of like what we have with Dustin, where you don't get a lot of the moments of real investigating the impact that the last 18 months have had. That's a big time jump for these kids to go through. And they've gone through a lot of traumatic stuff in that. But the show, Truth Hawkins, is mostly hunky-dory. And it's really weird. It's
weird. So I want to talk about, let's dig into another issue. It's weird to say this, but it's just absolutely true. I know that we've looked at this like E.T. and like the Goonies, because those are definitely both big influences on this. But so are a lot of other stuff, Aliens, and it's dark. It's darker. It's darker than those things. So with that in mind, the arcs that these characters took we deserved and should have gotten some deaths. Some characters should have died.
I agree, especially one
I'm
of the
not
things
saying the main kids.
one of the things that ticked me off is the Duffer Brothers setting up expectations for big death.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what are we supposed to care about? Soldier Grunt number 3 who gets his head blown off? Is that supposed to count? Is the beamer supposed to count?
Yes.
Like,
The soldier with a grudge. Ooh.
yeah, it's like if you are saying, especially when they put it specifically, there will be 5 big deaths in volume 2 or whatever they said. They put a number to it, and I cannot count any of them.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, they also said there would be a massive betrayal.
Yeah, and they said, oh, it's going to be a dark Christmas, and it's like none of that happened.
Yeah.
Which ultimately led to a big cornerstone, which led to Conformity Gate.
I was about to say Conformity Gate. We're going to get.
We're going to get to that.
Yeah,
We're going to get to it.
I think it is kind of selling a different kind of show than what we ultimately got. Because it was safe.
Was it their death of the childhood? Like, what the fuck was it?
Like,
But no, it's very much that, like, I felt that they weren't going to kill any of the main kids, any of the teenagers, but they marketed, like, expect some deaths. And 11 was brutal. I mean, there was a lot of body count in this, but it was all.
That's my body count since season 1.
Yeah, it's very lethal in season 1. But no, it was all people that we don't have any relationship with, we don't care about. And
are 3 of them the Turnbows who got left in the barn?
oh my god, I forgot about them. Yeah, the whole fucking family is totally not going to sue or anything.
Yeah.
They were left for dead in a barn for a few days.
Well, it was the 80s.
Yeah, true. What were you going to say, Zach?
Can we just take a quick tally? If you think 11 is dead.
Let's get to that in a second.
Yeah,
that's a conversation that we're going to have just about her in a minute.
So what do we have left? We have Conformity Gate, in 11. What else do we want to hit before we hit those 2 big points?
Well, I think let's talk about 11 now. Then let's talk about 11 now.
We were.
I want to real quick. I want your guys' opinion on Henry / Vecna, because I think Jamie Campbell Bowers did a really good job switching between Mr. Whatsit, Henry, Vecna.
Yeah.
But
I thought he was fine.
So I want to know.
I think he's a wonderful actor. I think he's a great actor.
I have issue with last season building Vecna up as the big bad, and then this season pulling the rug out. It's like, no, the big bad was the big bad from season 2.
And 3.
And 3.
They're one and the same.
No, they're not.
Well, they're not. They are hive mind, but they are 2 different entities.
And it wasn't pitched. If season 4 opened with the Mind Flayer unleashing Vecna onto Hawkins or something, like, all right, now it's your turn to do it or something. Okay, I would have been fine. But yeah, like the fact that Vecna was built up all in season 4 with no real, like, kind of high mind connection to the Mind Flayer specifically, and not until like partway through this season, made it weird to just pull the Mind Flayer back after not using it for
if
so
you
long.
did not know anything from the Broadway show,
Which
you don't,
No.
a lot of people don't because they haven't filmed it for any kind of media release.
I did. I
did, but that was because I saw a video of someone trying to explain it.
I didn't, and I don't think it's continuity, so it doesn't matter.
Well,
to me,
the
that
Duffer
is
Brothers have built
okay.
it into continuity.
And see, that's bullshit. That's what's happening with Star Wars. That's why people don't care about Star Wars, and that's what's happening with the MCU.
But it's
you
like,
can't
if you
do
didn't
that.
know anything from the Broadway play, you wouldn't have known anything about like Henry's connection to the Mind Flayer going into this next season, which a lot of people didn't, because not everybody can go to London and see a fucking Broadway show.
Put the fucking film the show and put it on Netflix.
We've talked a lot about writing themselves in the corner, and it feels like when they came to season 5, it's like, we need a bigger bad than Vecna. And so they had to, they redid that. They did the connection with the Mind Flayer. That might have been intended the whole time, but it comes across of they felt like they needed a bigger bad than Vecna.
I will say, connection to Henry with the Mind Flayer in season 3, and again, only because I've rewatched it like very, very recently and pretty much in a single run. when Billy is driving past the steelworks and gets flayed essentially, and he goes to make that phone call after he gets escapes that very first time at the phone booth, and the lights flicker, and all of a sudden he's in the upside down, what it looks like. You do hear the exact same Vecna clock chimes,
which that makes it feel more like Vecna is the boss.
Yes. So I think the Duffers were trying to set up Vecna early on, because you also hear clocks in season 2 when some Vecna-y stuff is happening, which I had a pause and Tony goes like, God damn it, the clocks are in season 2.
Like if they did it the other
But again, it's also relying on people's memory, and let's face it, some of us have shit fucking memory.
Yeah, me.
I was about to say, they only
And
play
again,
those clocks
I
like,
think
what,
that
once
works
a
the
season?
better way.
Did any of you watch the previous season before you watched the a next season?
No.
I always went back and watched a previous season.
That cannot be the expectation every time for every.
No, it's not the expectation. But I was like, I'm just going for me. It helped me more.
I'm sure it helped. I just don't have the time or the want to do
It's
that.
helping me shit ton right now, because I'm watching it when I have nothing to do at work, because it's a slow session at work.
But you're doing it afterwards and finding more flaws in season 5, which is not how that should work.
Yeah.
And before we get to Eleven's death, the one thing, since you guys brought up Vecna, is Vecna's ultimate demise just getting stuck on a spike, basically? Bullshit.
And
So underwhelming.
Bullshit.
So underwhelming.
Yeah.
And Joyce chopping his head off
And saying, fuck, like, you don't...
would have been...
I was like...
would have been incredible...
God.
Well, wait, though. It would have been incredibly iconic if the battle had been bigger. If the battle had mattered. Especially if somebody had died during the battle that mattered.
Yeah.
Or
That-
7 minutes.
did more during the battle.
Yeah.
So that was all Joyce did during the battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
And also when it goes to the flashbacks, each character having essentially their reason for being there as she's chopping up the head. And I attribute it to Max isn't there, but I felt like there was a disservice, and I hate the character because he's a racist piece of shit abuser.
Murray.
Really was central to their victory in season 3.
I just want to go back to Joyce.
Not even one flash of Billy.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I think that makes sense. I want to go back to Joyce just because of the D&D tie-in. She just came in at the end and stole all the XP for the kill.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So does Will still have that thing in the back of his neck?
He, I guess, is no longer connected to the hive mind conveniently when the hive mind died.
Okay,
Yeah. So does it just rot and fall out like a tail?
I've been trying to
it's
figure
just
out when to just circle this in, but now's as good time as any.
Yeah.
I fucking hate the Abyss world. It is
It's garbage.
So bland.
It's garbage.
I can give away the whole. They can breathe. Like, okay, that's weird, but alien planet. Oh, you know what? I don't care. But there's no other life. Like the Demogorgons aren't there. And
Yeah.
none of the vines. There's no vegetation. All the vegetation apparently left this world and just moved into the Upside Down. Like there's nothing on this planet. It's like I can understand why the Mind Flayer wants to leave this planet.
Yeah, I understand why the Mind Flayer likes it. Come on, because it's stuck on a fucking desert planet.
Yeah, but it's like this is such a boring design. Like why? I understand. I don't know. I take that back. It's dumb. It's just
And the Duffer Brothers trying to say, "Oh yeah, the Demogorgons, they're there. They're just off screen."
well,
Off screen.
I've seen them in an interview say that essentially they feel like they're done with the Demogorgons at that point. It's like we've had enough of the Demogorgons. This is just going to be the boss fight.
It's bullshit.
It is bullshit. It's
bullshit. Yeah, it's bullshit.
Absolutely
Season 2
bullshit.
is bullshit.
I think it's funny and very telling that the Duffer Brothers have had to do so many videos post-finale to explain this and explain that and explain why this is this way.
They're gonna kind of forgot about the Demogorgons.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like they've had to do videos. They've been doing interviews, and the interviews have been, which has really fueled Conformity Gate.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna get there. We're getting there.
Interviews are picking up steam because so many people had these questions, and if so many people have these questions, you should probably fucking address them.
Not only the questions, but so many people who normally don't find these kind of mistakes are finding all of your mistakes.
All right, let's. Yeah, you're right, but let's move forward because we're getting late. We still have a few things to talk about. So we're talking about Elle. We have to talk about her, her death or not death.
I think she's dead.
Dead.
She's dead.
Nathan,
I think she's dead.
she's dead. She's dead.
Yeah.
But
She's 100% fucking
the
dead.
execution of that. Now I think 3/4 of this stream likes the epilogue. Zach's a bitch and has no heart, so he doesn't. But I
That whole
generally
final scene, I just give a shit.
I generally do like the epilogue, but I hate the way that story is portrayed. Him telling that story as a potential coping mechanism for them to be able to deal with the loss of her is fantastic. Showing her walk to the place where there's 3 waterfalls is bullshit. I hated it. Hated it. Because it leaves them an opening if they want to come back 10 years from now. And they've been making jokes about that. If we're broke 20 years from now, we'll come back and do a movie or something. Leaving themselves an out instead of just having the balls to kill somebody off. I fucking hated it. That's my most hated part of the show.
They didn't even kill off Murray when he had to like arm a grenade and throw it at.
Murray should have
Yeah,
died.
Like,
Murray.
kill him
I
right
agree.
there.
I agree.
I was about to get very tough.
Uh-oh, not the freeze.
But there were obvious reasons why it is today.
Yeah,
But
Murray's a piece of shit in real
Murray
life.
Definitely should have died. I get your point about the 11 fantasy 3 waterfall thing, but I think they built in the 3 waterfalls throughout the season discussion that they wanted to pay that off, and so I'm okay with it being a possible imaginary thing in Mike's head. I thought Tina and I talked about this, and she actually helped me like really settle on the dead side about how that point doesn't work, but it is a kid just trying to rationalize what he hopes happens.
Because I know so many people are like, "Oh, Kali used her powers and she didn't actually die," but
From across
I
town?
believe she did. Across town, at the ground zero of the big explosion, that far of a distance, no way.
Yeah, it has to be bullshit. It has to be.
Yep.
What do you think of that, Nathan? What's your perspective?
I think she's dead, and I think the whole epilogue stuff was just a way of giving those characters hope or closure or whatever it needed to be.
You don't want to make the audience too sad.
Yeah.
I do
Fuck
feel
you.
like the ending was, from my experience with the 80s movies that I watched, the ending was very 80s happy tied up with the bow feeling.
100%.
So I can't fault them for that much when it is an 80s based TV show.
No, I agree. I appreciate the circular storytelling of going back to the D&D table and seeing the next generation of players. I appreciate all that. That's very much of the era of storytelling that they're dwelling in, and I liked it. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
All right.
And-
I guess now
didn't mind
conformity.
that.
Conformity.
I did.
Go ahead, Zach.
Feel over
I
here.
did find the scene of them crying and putting their thing on the wall to be like, "Oh my God, hurry up!" Sorry, that's just me and heartlessness, but I'm just like,
It is you and
Come
heartlessness, but I also think that the cuts between them doing it should have been done with cross dissolves. I think it would have been more emotional rather than just cut. But this season is shittily edited, as I've said. So what is fascinating is now we have conformity gate.
should we just check one more time?
We gotta appreciate the Taylor Swift level Easter egg hunt stuff going.
And I think this level of desperation.
Is anybody else having flashbacks to like the last season of Sherlock, where everybody was like, "Oh, this is John's head"?
This is exactly the same thing as last season of
This
Sherlock.
is-
I don't know anything about that.
Sure. So basically, Sherlock also had a terrible series finale. Well, I'd say also it had a terrible series finale. We're like middle of the road on this one mostly. Sherlock's was a terrible series finale, and
It was bad.
It got a lot of people going like conspiracy gate for Sherlock. It's like this was all in an imagination because they pulled that before.
Yeah.
But no, there's no new Sherlock.
Well, I had successfully not known anything about this shit until Zach starts texting me and Crystal videos yesterday.
Yeah, so I was on Instagram.
You went almost a whole week without it. That's nice. I wish I lived in your world, Stephen.
Yeah.
So I had heard like rumblings of like, oh, this is stupid. There's going to be a secret episode, and then I saw some of the videos on Instagram of people going through and being like, this is a weird set of coincidences and shit. We think it's this, and I'm like, okay, pause. It's not going to happen. But let's just play a game of if it does. This would be a cool ass thing to happen.
It would be history making. I would say that it would be.
I texted Nathan a couple of days ago. I'm like, Nico won't do it with me. Will you help me conformity gate bomb the entire?
Yeah, I 100% was like, it's not happening.
There's a reason. I kept going through this podcast tonight, and I was like, conformity gate. Let's get into it.
Zach says this. Zach's like, I 100% think it wasn't going to happen. But he texted me last night. He's like, if it happens, are we having podcasts still?
Yeah, because like we need to see the next episode. Nathan
was like, "What if it happens as we're going live?" And I'm like, "Bitch, I'm watching it."
I was like, "We're hopping off podcast."
This, I think there's a case study here of QAnon levels of deep diving into fucking.
One character. Let's have one person tell conformity. Tina, take it away. What is the explanation for conformity game?
Pretty much as soon as it ended, I started fucking.
Yeah.
Okay, so some people argue right now on when conformity gate actually begins, but original theories, conformity gate begins after the break from Volume 1 to Volume 2, when Vecna comes out and has that whole fight with Will and blah, blah, blah. That is all Mike trapped in Vecna's head. It is all Mike under Vecna's curse.
The entirety of Volume 2 in the last episode.
Yes. All of it. And people are like, the Duffer Brothers promised us a dark Christmas. Well, January 7th is Orthodox Christmas Day.
Oh my God.
And just everybody's pointing out all the inconsistencies, all the mistakes, all the Easter eggs, all the things that they think. The dial from Volume 1 at the radio station being a different color than the exact same dial for Volume 2. Handles being like the Mike Wheeler's basement door handle being on a different side of the door. All kinds. Like
supposedly the letters on their D&D book spelled something out on the...
Or, Act 2 is live.
Oh, the way that everybody at graduation was sitting, just like...
everybody's like... Yeah, the gowns. So there's a book published that is canon, Nancy Wheeler's graduation story, where the graduation gowns are green. Now keep in mind, Mike is a couple of years behind her, so they really shouldn't change the graduation color, theoretically.
Mm-hmm.
But all of a sudden, the graduation gowns are orange, which a lot of people are like, oh, well, orange is associated with prisoners, or orange might be what they had in the 50s, because Vecna's controlling the mindset, the narrative at this point. People standing like Vecna. Will's whole coming out speech of biking to Melvard's to get milkshakes. Well, Melvard's in the history of Stranger Things has never sold milkshakes, but being a general store in the 50s, very likely could have. Oh man, there's just too many to list. It's phenomenal to go down this hole.
It is unusually a long list of, like, even they're playing D&D at the end, and there's a game that says "What's It."
Yes, What's It? The What's It game appears in multiple shots throughout.
And like the arrow, they use the arrow to turn up the frequency, changes color, similar to how
she mentioned that one.
It's just. But it's a laundry list of things.
Like all the extras looking at, like breaking the fourth wall is a big one. All the extras looking at the camera as opposed to the characters that's in the scene or where the attention would naturally be driven to. Just everything. And each day you get more and more and more and more coming out. To the point where...
There's no way that the Duffer Brothers could have been
And we lost him.
And they froze.
Just
Oh,
so
the Duffer Brothers
There.
are shitting up. We fucked up.
you know, obviously just a shenanigans.
Yeah.
They know this is obviously intentional.
Everybody's like, it's gonna come out on again. July 7th was the big thing because again, July 7th, Orthodox Christmas, but a lot of people were
July
like,
7th.
January 7th. Yeah.
Then we have to wait.
And see,
also February 7th, Vecna's curse taking 7 days to fully hit. So New Year's.
I love that this is happening. I love that. I am someone who over the years has, and I know I'm opposite of you, Tina, on this, and I'm somewhat opposite of Zach on this. But just over the years, I am someone who has a very fucking low tolerance.
I would hate it if
Wait. Let me finish. I just have a very low tolerance for conspiracy theories in general. I'm like,
general events.
due to the life events, because you see what conspiracy theories do to
Yes.
people. Wait, so let me finish. So this is a very harmless demonstration of what they do. This is just going to be disappointment for everybody. So fuck all of you guys for your dumbass conspiracy theory bullshit.
It's very Taylor Swift Easter egg, and I love it though.
Except her Easter eggs are planned.
Her Easter eggs are planned, and they usually have a payoff of some
Yeah,
kind.
no, the fandom, Taylor Swift fandom, always grasps at things that they claim are Easter eggs. So
Yeah, but she started that though, right?
Well,
Didn't she?
No, actually, she started doing it intentionally after the fandom got crazy with a lot of stuff.
Oh, all right. Well, that's fun.
And she's the one who popularized, or at least the Swifties popularized numerology Easter eggs here lately. So a lot of people are like, "Oh, there's a 7 on the table in the ending credits, and 7 is what they rolled in the first episode."
The Demogorgon, it got me.
Again, it's just a laundry list, and it's amazing just how people are just
Putting it together.
Catherine was texting me. She's like, "Oh my god, have you heard about Confirmity Gate? Have you heard this? Have you seen this?" And we went back and forth about it. I said, "Katie, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen." And she goes, "But if it did, I could see Netflix changing history. I can see this and that and blah blah blah." And I said, "Katie, I said, think about how many things get leaked on the daily."
Yeah.
They were filming the season, and things were like pictures were getting leaked of sets and stuff.
There's
like,
no way. There's no way they had that tight of a leak on this big of a secret. However, the way people latch onto it was phenomenal. And I do use that in the literal sense of phenomenal. This is a phenomenon. But then you have like companies jumping in on it. You have fucking Jamie Campbell Bowers on what was it, Jimmy Fallon last night, doing a whole skit, and one of the things he says when he looks at the camera, all Vecna and seriously, is "Tomorrow it begins." You really think they had that fucking planned until Conformity Gate started happening?
Yeah. No, you're right.
They are trolling us so hard, us as
a people.
I never thought that they were going to release a second episode or second finale, by the way, but it's like watching Joyce go crazy in season 1, but instead of you knowing that she's right, you know that she's wrong, and you're just waiting for Will's rotted corpse to come out of it.
The funny thing too is the Duffer Brothers haven't commented on anything about Conformity Gate, so it's like I
don't trust anything the Duffer Brothers say, because again, pre everything. They were like, "Oh, 5 deaths. Oh, it's a dark Christmas day. Oh, this is going to happen," and none of that happened. So I don't trust a goddamn thing the Duffer Brothers say.
All of my feelings about the whole conspiracy theory aspect of it aside, if it were real, it'd be ballsy, and that's why it's not real.
Very ballsy. It would be very ballsy, especially considering that they had purchased tickets at theaters for, if this happened, a fake finale. Do you know how many people would probably be like, "What the fuck did I pay for then?"
Yeah.
So it's not happening.
Cool,
it would be cool. It would be cool.
And
but there's
if it did happen, Steve Harrington 100% died.
Oh, he would have to.
I would hope that a lot more characters die.
Yeah,
it would be funny if it did happen, and then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, I loved it. It was amazing. I can hear it from Zach right now. 4 out of 5.
Well, to be honest with you,
Fancy ball.
look
There's
at
a
my
bottle.
cat's ass. But to be honest with you, it could fix a lot of the continuity issues that we were seeing towards the end.
That's why
It
people
would
started latching onto
it
it. Yeah.
had the potential to fix these issues. Not that it would, not that it would be better, but it had the potential to. This is all speculation though, because it doesn't actually.
It's just people's desperation to want to not accept that they just fucked it up.
And there's a lot of people who expected and wanted a Stranger Things finale that would cater more to what they wanted, as opposed to honestly what the Stranger Things finale kind of needed to be.
Yeah.
There was not going to be a Bylers.
So.
Yeah, there was not going to be a Bylers. There wasn't going to be a Fancy or Jonathan Nancy resolution, which, by the way, the people who say, oh, I couldn't tell that they broke up, how the fuck do you unpropose to somebody and still be in a relationship with them? Get over it. It's just one of those things that people were expecting so many things from this finale that it just wasn't realistic. In the entire run of Stranger Things, it wasn't realistically set up for. Mm-hmm. So they didn't get the it's not the ending they needed, or it's not the ending they wanted, but it's the ending they needed.
Not even the ending we deserve. Okay.
I was gonna say, I was gonna say, it's not the ending anybody needed.
I we enjoyed it. I have several people that I know that loved it too. So
yeah,
I do like the epilogue, but I have problems with the rest of it.
Yeah.
I still find myself drawn to the ending of season 1 more, just because I guess.
Oh, the ending of season 1 is perfection. It's perfection.
It's that John Carpenter ending that I like way more than the Steven Spielberg-esque ending.
Yeah.
I mean, that comes down to preference, but am I ever going to watch Stranger Things again, season 1, and then not continue with 2, 3, or 4, or 5? Because I like season 1 the best, and then I think it ends the best. And I feel like I don't have to invest 45 hours.
I will say I did forget how I did forget how goopy season 3 was, and
how what
goopy.
Oh, it's goopy.
Yeah.
It's for me. This is like Westworld. I like season 1. I think it ends perfectly. I can just enjoy season 1.
I agree, and ultimately, that's probably, if I revisit this show, that's probably what'll happen. I'll just watch season 1.
I'm just glad I didn't have a Game of Thrones experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we can all agree. We didn't have a
Game of Thrones. Very thankful
2.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, there was one point, Zach, you made in your first impressions that I wanted clarity on.
Yeah.
When you say the issue with the pregnant women, what was your issue with the pregnant women?
They set them up, but there's no resolution other than
the resolution is to get sucked into the void.
Well, yeah, but there is no. They introduce this plot element, and then they don't follow up. They don't remind. It's just there, and then we move on. And it's like, I feel like something that big should have.
No, it explained the purpose of why they were so hell-bent at going after 11, because they think they could harvest working. Yeah.
Yeah, and it gave
you should
Callie...
rescue those people too.
No, you can't rescue them. They were already dying. Callie's blood.
They already explained they were dying.
Yeah.
A hospital. If you're dying,
they weren't in a hospital.
So you're going to get all those pregnant women out of the Upside Down to a hospital.
All I'm saying is they introduced them. I'm like, wow, they just left them to fucking.
Can you come up with a line to explain that?
A line? No, you need a whole. You're introducing an entire subplot now.
I would rather than just have the dead women and the babies just sucked out into the void than spend even more time on that plot line that is going to end with them all dying anyway.
No, they were being poisoned. They weren't.
No, Callie said they were actively dying.
Yeah.
Then why are we keeping them alive?
Because it's the military wanting to see which one will succeed, to see if maybe we can bring one of them to term. And
what I'm getting at is, to me, when I say they're dying, you're saying it's terminal. I'm saying we can still save them. The way the show made it sound like was they need help and rescued. You're saying it's terminal. I
But
didn't
it
get
wasn't.
the
terminal.
show.
It was coming from the voice of Kali, she's a kid herself.
But
You want to
I
know
didn't
what's
get that- I
you,
didn't interpret that from the show that it was
you
saying
what?
they're terminally going to die.
You want to know what's funny? Is I'm not speaking on this because I just clearly don't give a fuck.
To me, it was.
I don't care about this storyline.
You know what? I will try to remember to write down exactly how Kali phrases it when I do my rewatch, and then we can discuss it after that offline.
Because to me, it was they were being poisoned, not they're terminally like they're fucked in 3 hours. You
Yeah,
know,
I
there's-
took it
there's
as
no
they're
help
fucked
for
in
them.
3 hours.
I took it as they were dying.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't get that based on what the show was telling me.
Again, I'll try and remember to record
Okay.
it so we can figure it out.
2 hours and 15 minutes later.
Almost like it was the conclusion to a 5-season TV show.
Yeah,
Best
I don't know if we've had one like this since the ending of Lost. When we did that one, it was pretty wild. Crazy that I've been doing this with some version of you guys for that long since
Oh,
Lost was
and
on.
just an update for Conformity Gate enthusiasts: there is still no episode.
There's 3 more hours left. You never know.
Next week is going to be a big show for us. I'm excited for that. It's always a tough one. This will be talking about our top 10 movies of 2025. So I hope you guys are ready. I think I'm mostly caught up on stuff. There might be there's one more movie that I want to try and see, and it actually is opening in theaters this weekend here. So I'm going to try and see that, and I should be good to go for Wednesday.
Diego and I have one more movie to watch. Yep.
Okay.
I am going to rent a movie that I missed, and then there's another one I don't think it's streaming, so I just gonna have to eat shit on that one.
Yeah. I mean, it really, at the end of the day, has to be the best of the movies that you've seen. That's all it can be. None of us can see everything.
Yeah.
But we
But
already know my list is going to be shit, so yay.
it's just crazy.
I mean, I'll be very real. Everyone's list, there's always a title or two I will write down.
And that's the best part of doing these lists is we all bring a lot of the same shit to the table because everybody's bringing a lot of the same shit to the table. Yeah. But there's usually one or two things that we talk about after that's pretty cool.
I'm pretty sure we're going to get to the part where it's like, oh, well, at my number 7 is Sinners. Oh, we'll talk about that in a little
it's
bit.
like, oh, let me guess, Sinners is going to be on some people's list. Ooh.
Yeah. But it was not on the Variety top 10 list because fuck them.
Yeah. Fuck Variety.
Yeah. So that's happening. There was something else I was going to bring up, but I can't think of it. But anyway.
I do want to, whoever did the costuming for Stranger Things, thank you so much for putting Steve Harrington in a backwards baseball cap. Oh,
yeah, and you know what else? Who's which is the character? I can't think of her name. That I didn't realize that she was wearing a wig, but the wigs were pretty good. I'm like, shit, that wig was pretty good. She was wearing a wig the whole time. Which character was it? Let me see if I can look at a picture of her and I'll tell you.
I know they took some of Holly's wigs. But
I'm looking. Let me see if I can tell you from there. I have IMDb up, so I'm just looking real quick.
Erica.
Who's Erica?
Fire Ferguson.
Lucas's sister.
No, she was main. She was main cast.
Robin.
Oh no, it was Maya Hawke.
Yeah,
Robin.
Yeah, Robin. Yeah, it was Maya Hawke. Yeah,
What?
I'm like, yeah, that was a good fucking wig. And you know how I know? Because I saw an interview with her talking about it, and I'm like, well, shit, that's a good wig. Mm-hmm. She never dyed her hair or anything. She's got lighter hair than the character too. I'm like, shit, that. Why couldn't they do that for Halle Berry in X-Men 2 or X-Men 1? Yeah, I was like, shit, that's some good hair and makeup right there. All right, let's end this thing. I want to go get a snack and pee. But this was fun, like always. I actually told Crystal pre-show. I said I feel like most of this is going to be Zach and Nathan fighting, and I wasn't disappointed. I
don't hate it. I just have problems.
You have problems in general, bitch.
That's true.
Yes. Was that ever up for discussion? Yes.
It was not ever up for discussion.
Was that a question?
When you start talking about shit, it makes my blood boil, and I don't.
It's so funny over here, Nathan, when we're looking at movies, when Crystal and I are trying to find something to watch, and she'll ask me what I thought of it, and I'll say, I liked it, but Zach didn't. And she automatically is already saying, well, Zach doesn't fucking count. I've seen what he watches on YouTube.
Two videos from 15 years ago.
Oh, God, it kills me. All right, so let's wrap this thing up. Tina, where do we find you and Nico on the internet? I'm assuming he's with Baby.
Yes, he's with Baby. You can find me on most major social medias under Cheddar Popper, CATDR, POPPR. You can find him at his link tree at nicholasqualls.com.
Nathan?
You can find me most social media, Nate_R_70, and yeah, around the world.
Around the world. Zach? That freaked me out a little.
You can find me on Letterboxd, Master Z91. You can find me on Instagram, Master the Matrix 91, and you can find me on Steam and Discord as a dangerous mute lunatic. I had to remember these things.
Yeah, you struggled for a second. I saw that. So you can find me on TikTok as The.Film.Doc. You can find me at OTS Movies on Letterboxd. I'm going to change that, I swear to God. You have to do it on the computer, damn it. I can't do it on my phone. It's annoying. And also The.Film.Doc on Instagram. More Film.Doc stuff coming as 2026 continues, so watch out for that. But yeah, join us here every week. Ish. At 7 CDT ish. So we'll see everybody next week.
Bye, everybody.